Hello everyone, today we're working on this 282 Heavy Mikado, and these are a really good engine to get. Now these come with a little baggie of parts, so if you're looking to get one, make sure that you have that little baggie of parts. So there you go, this is the company that sold this to me. So the little baggie of parts, some of them don't have this available and some of them do, so make sure that you get it. So this one's unlettered, which is fine, painted unlettered, which is fine. I'm going to run it just like that. So this thing looks brand new, and I think I have all the little baggie of parts. I'm just going to have this sit over there. That's probably one of their early runs with this this protector there for under the engine. So this looks brand new, looks mint. Really happy to get this. In fact, my birthday's coming up. I bought this for my birthday, but my birthday last year, I got busy with the other projects and that thing just sat in a box for a whole year. Anyway, today is the day. Even got the instructions, so that is really cool. Let's take a look at this. Now that baggie of parts, you have to put all the little parts yourself. So that is something that I enjoy tremendously. It's a little bit of the IKEA business model. Makes you feel like you're part of building something cool. And really you're only putting up the cherry on the sundae. So they show you everything you have and how to put it on. And all the names of the parts. Look at that. I'm just going slowly over that in case you don't have the instructions. And they don't really show you how to take it apart. I do have a video where I take the whole engine apart. And then you have the parts list and the nomenclature. Unfortunately, I go on the Kato website all the time. There's an order form. I go on the Kato website all the time and I look for parts for these. The little baggie of parts has not been available for years. Same with a lot of the parts, but they still listed. There's still some parts available, just not a lot anymore. So I don't think I need to clean the wheels, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to remove the two trucks from the tender. I don't think I need to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, this is something I like to do, on special occasions, or a holiday, just to put these little parts in. It's pretty easy and it's very satisfying. So in case you were wondering, these little pins there, they go inside of the contact strips. This is a very good design. This engine, when it came out, was by far the best running N-scale engine anywhere at any price. So you just put them inside like that, and then you put the tender over that. That's going to give me a chance to just take the wheels off and clean them up. There's no point in regauging that. They're always very good. And this is not the same profile as a D51. It is a very American profile. Let me just get this to refocus there. So we can look at this very American side frame. Very nice. They put holes in the contact strips so you can see through them. It is just so nice and so detailed, this engine. Yeah, I'll go over some of the detail while I'm putting the parts on. So let's just clean these up. Use my rag as usual. So if you have one of these that's dirty, you can get away with just cleaning the tender wheels. That goes a long way. They really do pick up electricity. No need to have capacitors in there to keep the current. You don't need to have a keep alive on these. They are good. They are just good. Yeah, actually these run so good. I don't use them all the time because it makes me sick how good they run. It's too much. It's too good. So I mean, this one I bought this on eBay. It may or may not have issues, but as far as I'm concerned, it looks new, so probably not. Now you'll find these for sale and the baggie of parts is missing, which is very sad. Or if you find one where the baggie of parts has been installed already for you, that is good. That is good. It's a really good engine to get. I would not spend the time to DCC and sound this. You guys want to look inside the tender. Once you have all the little trucks out, it's easy to get in there and take a look. But this thing looks brand new. Actually, I could leave that screw there. It's going to come in handy, so for when I want to put it back, I think you just pry on this gently and it'll come right out. For shizzle my nizzle, if you just pry on this very gently, careful because of the little stirrups on the side, but it will come right out. Yeah, here it comes. So that's what it looks like inside the tender. You have a weight. And under the weight is the 2 contact strips. And then that's just a regular shell where you do have plenty of space for a decoder if you feel like it. Here. But this, for the price, it is so incredibly detailed. This is a real good engine to get. See, I'm being careful, I don't want to rip out the stirrups here. But it is good. It is a good engine. So the weight seems a little light, but since they run, there's no point in questioning that. They run so well. So you can get away with just cleaning the tender wheels. They pick up a lot of electricity. This is good. But if you want to get the main drivers here, you can just go like that with your rag, move the wheels a quarter turn, and then keep going like that. But this does not feel dirty at all. I'm just doing it for my own idiosyncrasy. That thing looks mint. And it comes with their own couplers, knuckle couplers, which is okay. I saw in the little baggie of parts they have some rapidos in there if you feel like using that. You know, in the instruction it doesn't even say the year. What year did they make this? Did they say anywhere? Anyways, they're from the 90s, but at the time was the most advanced steam engine you could get. I mean, they had a really good running Hudson. Between that and the Hudson, you get like a whole fleet of really good running engines. And the Hudson also has pickups in the tender, and those also go a long way. Taking my time to put this back. Yeah, they have their own brand of couplers out there. I'm not gonna put the tender back on the engine right now, because having just the engine makes it easier to handle. It's not absolutely necessary, but it is easier to handle. So this one I can put back right away. I don't know if there's a huge advantage to using a screw over just a pin, but anyways, this works great. So I'll just leave that like that until I'm ready to put it back together. So little baggie of parts, there's all the separately applied handrails that go here. There's two supports for the pilot that go here, and you have your pop valves, your whistle. There's still a really good detail, although the lines here are molded in, they still look very good. You have your injector down here, you have your steam dome, sand dome with all the sand lines that go to the tires. You can see all the brake detail, and of course all the valve detail. And there should be an air compressor in here somewhere. Oh yeah, there's two air compressors there, but they got bent in a little bit. I want to see if I can straighten this out. There's your air compressor there. A lot of empty space there. Some locomotives, they had stuff in there, but this one's empty. This is your power reverse. The power reverse is actually very important. It allows the engine to reverse, but also as the engine goes down the road, the engineer, once you hit your speed, you can cut some of the lift on the valve. So that allows you to save fuel. So the engineers, the companies would keep stats on the engineer, how much fuel they use, and the better engineers would use less fuel. You can see all the cab interior. There's some details. Some people, they'll paint this gold. You know, I don't really see it going down the track, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave this thing as it is mint, but I am gonna put on the parts. You could run it just like that, you know. If you're thinking I'll own this engine for a little bit and then I'll sell it later, you'd actually be better off run it like that. Put the baggie of parts back in the box. People will pay more for that. I know I will. If the parts are installed, it's still good. If the parts are missing, Kato does not make them anymore. So, but I keep checking. If one day they start making them again, I'll buy some for sure, for sure. Look at that, even has a window here. Lots of really good details on this. All right, enough talking. Let's get to work. Just so you know what you have in the baggie, it's basically all the handrails. I guess they're stanchions. All the handrail stanchions. I'm trying to keep the bag together because I will reuse it. They give you a couple of extras just in case, which is a really good and nice attention. They give you a couple of extras so you can go back and if you lose one, because they are small, if you lose them on the floor, then you're buggered. But you have a couple of extras so you can go back and find this. So these are the little pins for the handrails, the two marker lights. Just refocus that. Two marker lights, and this is for the bell. And the bell is right here. It's gold, so you can't miss it. I want you to see everything that's included. So the two rapidos, if you want to double-head it. Daniel Cordapassi made a nice video, truck pins, if you decide to use them. The ladder for the tender. Here's your bell. And This is the whistle and the pop valves, which are also gold, but it's plastic, but it's gold painted plastic. And then the little bell. And the bell is actual metal. It's actually metal bell. It's a real brass bell. It's not very heavy, so it doesn't sound metally, but it doesn't sound plasticky either. If it was plastic, it would sound like that. So it's metal. Awesome stuff. And then the other baggie is all the handrails. So we'll do that later. We'll start with this baggie. So there's a ladder for the tender here. So I'll put that on right away. The other thing you have to note also is to make a hole for the ladder in your foam. I think this will fit just right, but there's no hole for the bell, so you have to make a hole for the bell. Because these, unfortunately, they sit in the box a lot. But I'm gonna enjoy this today, but after that it's gonna sit in the box for a long time. I don't think I would DCC and sound this, because I'm really happy running it for DC. And if I wanted a DCC version, I would probably just go and buy something high-end like Broadway Limited with Rolling Thunder. The pop valves being plastic, they're a little bit fragile, so I will put these last. The horn, the way it's located, it's not really an issue. I have not often seen them broken when I look at used engines, but the pop valves are a little bit on the fragile side. So you have extras of these. So they each have their specific location. They're all different, so you have to pay attention to that when you're putting them on. The boiler, it's bigger and then it gets smaller again, so they all have different handrail pins. So I am going to look at the instructions for that. But this is something I'll do when I'm very relaxed and on a holiday or a special day, and I take my time. Oh, look at that, it's all spelled out for you. So you have the A7. Actually, they do tell you which type of pin to put. There we go. So you have the A4, and then some A5s, and a whole bunch of A6s, and a whole bunch of A7s. So yeah, they tell you in detail what to use and when. You put the C2s in the middle, and yeah, A3, A5, and C4 for the middle. So these go first. You only need two. They go right at the front, the first ones. And then I use two of these on the silver part here. And then the rest are all the same. You need, if you use them, so I use the two C1s here. And then I go to A7s. The A7 you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they give you, so that's the first one. That's the first one, and they give you 4. You only need 2, and these I'll use both of them. And then you need 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have extras. So in case you lose one. So, oh, I will show you how I get them on, because this is hard to do. So trick number 1, you detach the engine from the tender, makes it easier to handle. And then trick number 2, I use that big handrail as an installation tool, and these they snap in. So you can go ahead and install that, and then once that it's in, you can snap it out, and you can come back later and snap snap your handrail in. And also this one should be going up and down, so I can install it up and down like this, and that will make it easier. It really wants to get in there, it just doesn't know it yet. Why don't you just go to your home? Don't you know where your home is? See, now I told you this was easy. And then once it's in, you can just remove the installation tool. And then at the end of everything, you can just snap it right in there. It'll just snap in there. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. You can see at the builder's plate here, these have a lot of details throughout. Such a nice model. We're going to do the second set, the ones that are more bent, and I recommend putting your installation tool in before you detach it from the sprue, so just in case it goes flying off, you don't have to look all over your floor. This is really small, really hard to find on the floor. And then we'll go ahead and install that one. So that one does go straight. And you can't put a time limit on this. You have to do that when you have time and you have the patience. You see now, I told you this was easy. So I just keep going like that. So I do the whole boiler, and I put another crooked one here, and then I go to the A7s for the rest of the boiler side. A lot of end scale is like that, you know, it's more difficult, but at the same time, you know how hard you had to work to get it done. So it's more rewarding at the same time. It's just like the car shows, you know, the show and shine. People come in and look at the nice cars and they say, oh, I always wanted to get a classic this or a classic that, but they don't know all the work that goes into it. So just like visitors in your train room, they don't know how much work you put in, but you know. And it's like anything, you know, the more you do, the easier it gets. That last one, I went quickly. Almost done. And that last one goes right up against the cab. You saved the best for last. Like I said, when you do that, you have no time limit. Oh yeah, that hit the spot. So I've got all my little handrail holsters set up. Now before I put the handrail on, I am going to do the other side. So I finished installing these little pins. I've got a few extras. So if down the road I buy something and it's missing one or two, I can replace that. Now we're going to put those marker lights on, and we'll finish with the bell. It's really good detail, really amazing. So you start with this little shape, and the bell goes in the middle. So again, you take your time and you work with it until you're happy. So I want it to be really straight in the middle. And then I'll bring in the little base and I'll put them together. Once you have it assembled, it will just go in its little hole on the boiler. This is what it should look like once you're done. Now I'm going to install these two little pins. These are supports, struts for the pilot beam. So if you're going to do it, don't start with the top part here. Don't start with the top part and then try to fit the bottom part in. It's better to start from the bottom part and then swivel the top to the smoke box. Let's see if I can do it on camera. So there's a little hole in your pilot. So put the bottom part in. It looks almost like it's in all the way, but not quite. So then you can swivel it till it gets into its little hole. And that should be good. Should look like this when you're done. Next we'll do the little whistle and the pop valve. And that will go up here on the sand dome. And it's a square peg, so there's only one way to put it in. Although different railroads have the whistle at different placements. All the bells and whistles, they have already, depending on the railroad, they could have different placement. Then we'll work on the pop valves. So these are a little bit fragile. However, if you put the locomotive back in its case, both the whistle and the pop valves will have their will be very well protected. It's just handling it, there's a danger. So I like to clean them up very well before I try to put them in. So these have their spot right on top here, next to the steam dome. So that you're going to be gentle putting it in. I always end up pushing with a tool, so I don't push on the pot valves themselves. So I use a tool to push them in. It's really quite detailed. I'll go over some of the nomenclature for all this stuff, but there's your steam generator, and this is your sand dome, and that's got the two hatches for the sand. So everything else we've covered. So this, the only thing you could use is maybe the decal for the road or the engine number. And then we'll put these two wires for the handrails. If you've ever been to a railroad museum, you're not allowed to climb on the locomotives. Even though they have all these ladders and handrails, it is a little bit dangerous, because if you fall off the locomotive, you're pretty much guaranteed to get hurt unless you're Spider-Man. But because the locomotives are tall, so you kind of have to do it at your own risk. So these will snap on. I don't know if you can hear it snap, but once you got it lined up properly, they just snap. And when they're snapped, you know, you just snap on there. And these fit perfectly. Which had a better look. This one hasn't snapped yet. So I'll line it up and I'll snap it, and this one too. Not quite perfectly lined up there. So this is flexible, so it follows the boiler. So that's really neat. Yeah, I'm so happy with the results. I'm going to do a series of still pictures so you can see what it looks like up close. Well, that was a lot of fun. Now we're going to put the tender back, and I don't even know if this thing runs, so I'm making sure the two contact strips, the two contact wires are on the inside for this locomotive. They should be on the inside. So I'm just making sure that they are on the inside. And then we'll reattach the tender. There, that looks good. We'll reattach the tender and we can go try it on the track. I just have that one last screw to put on. Just making sure everything's lined up properly. And it's free to swivel. Perfect. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.